What's up, guys? My name is Pete, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Phipps Tips. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the overall market. We're going to check out its top performers. We'll have a look at the day's biggest winners and its biggest losers. A few news articles to go over, guys. Why Bitcoin will never go to zero. We're going to be myth-busting that. And the cryptocurrency known as THEKEY commits $20 million to a crypto fund. We'll see what that's all about. We're going to check out our sideways action we've got going on with Bitcoin and a little bit of technical analysis today, guys. All that and more coming up. But first, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button as I try to post a video every single day, Monday through Friday. And if you're a regular, guys, hit that like button. We'll get this Monday started right. We're on CoinMarketCap.com. The market cap currently at $256.7 billion with a 24-hour trading volume of $14.8 billion and Bitcoin dominance checking in, guys, at 42.5%. Of our top 5, we have Bitcoin down just 0.11%, Ethereum down 0.38%, XRP down 0.15%, Bitcoin Cash down 0.46%, and EOS down 0.2%, guys. We have just a little bit of sideways movement over the weekend. What we will see, and I'll show you in our technical analysis, guys, it has just been running sideways ever since the pump from like Thursday or Friday. We're going to see what's going on versus Bitcoin today, guys. We have 0x taking the crown up against Bitcoin, 11.80%. NEM up against Bitcoin, 11.08%. Verge up 10.3%, Emmercoin up 10.27%, and Funfair up against Bitcoin nearly 9% on the day. Let's have a look at our gainers and our losers for the day, guys. Our biggest gainer of the day is Sharecoin up against the US dollar, 79.67%. AlphaCat up 50.15% on the day, guys. Zip up 47.47%. Gridcoin up 40.94%. And Cloakcoin up 38.85% on the day, fellas and ladies. Our biggest losers on the day, Selfkey down 39.43%. Wincoin down 26.68%. Loopring down 21.45%, Data Wallet down 19.5%, and Proxius down 18.35% on the day, guys. So there you have our gainers and our biggest losers. Oh, nice. Seeing Encash doing a little bit of action today. That's always good to see. So we're going to go ahead and move on into our news articles of the days, guys. Mythbusting, why Bitcoin will or will not go to zero. Stay tuned. We'll find out more. Mythbusting, why Bitcoin can never go to zero. Bitcoin's polarizing effect has people on both ends of the scale either proclaiming it's going to the moon or it's going to zero. The volatile, unprecedented and revolutionary monetary system that is cryptocurrency has a future that not many can accurately predict. But as time has gone on, the idea that Bitcoin is going to zero seems more and more far-fetched. A number of commentators just recently, when Bitcoin has been booming, have come forward with predictions of doom and gloom, warning investors that this new system of money and investment opportunity will fall to complete worthlessness. Personally, guys, I don't believe that at all. Bitcoin is barely 10 years old and has gone from being worth zero to being worth $20,000 USD. So, as we sit with the price lower than many would have hoped, it feels and seems feasible to think that it can reach as low as zero. It doesn't matter if it's skeptical friends around the dinner table or Dr. Doom himself, Nouriel Roubini. The prediction that Bitcoin will go to zero often comes up as a counterpunch to all the positive strides that cryptocurrencies are making. Being a new and unprecedented ecosystem, which operates in such established ecosystems as finance and money, it is fascinating to watch how the volatile asset advances. One day it's up, one day it's down. But what makes people think it will fail altogether? In early February, when Bitcoin was crashing to about $6,000 USD, the chairman of Roubini Macro Associates, Nouriel Roubini, also known as Dr. Doom, for his pessimistic economic outlooks, made a bold claim over Twitter. He was tweeting, as expected, Bitcoin now crashes below 6K. Now the 5K handle is reached, and as U.S. congressional hearings on crypto scams is still a day away, hodl nuts will haul their melting Bitcoins all the way down to zero, while scammers and whales dump and run. Dr. Doom has some backup to this low point for Bitcoin, as Joe Davis, Vanguard's global chief economist and the head of investment strategy group, weighed in. And he wrote in a blog post, "I see a decent probability that its price goes to zero." He also chimed in that he is optimistic about blockchain, however, but this separation of blockchain and Bitcoin by investors in institutionalized money is flawed and wrongly brought up over and over and over again as blockchain over Bitcoin. Goldman Sachs has also had their say on cryptocurrencies and the possibility of going to zero, but with the caveat that the bigger and therefore stronger ones will evolve and survive. Head of investment research, Steve Strongen, said, "Whether any of today's cryptocurrencies will survive over the long run seems unlikely to me, although parts of them may evolve and survive. Because of the lack of intrinsic value, the currencies that don't survive will most likely trade to zero." The reasons given by these men for Bitcoin going to zero, or in Strongen's case, other cryptocurrencies, range from market manipulation, asset bubbles, to the lack of intrinsic values. All of these instances and reasons, however, are beginning to feel a bit dated. The fast-moving crypto world has outgrown a number of detractions, most notably the tulip comparison, which is one of Joe Davis's favorite comparisons. In recent months, even with the market being so low, there has been a big wave of adoption in the use of blockchain as well as crypto. While Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are financial and monetary phenomenon, they are also classed as a technological advancement, thanks to the underlying blockchain tech. This means that there is a whole wave of adoption that can take place across different sectors which can use blockchain and cryptocurrencies. The adoption that has happened recently has been at the top level in a few sectors, namely banks, major corporations, and even government. There have been big moves by some major global banks to try and get an effective crypto trading desk that their customers can use and that they can party to offering up and running. Banks are looking to jump on the cryptocurrency bandwagon because demand from customers is so high. Farzam Eshani, a former blockchain lead at Rand Merchant Bank and now co-founder and CEO of Voller, told Cointelegraph, "All banks are realizing they need to get onto the blockchain boat. I don't think many banks necessarily understand where the boat is going, but they realize that this is a development that is taking off, and that if they want to be on this journey that everyone is going on, they need to be on the boat." Furthermore, companies on the scale of Microsoft, Amazon, IBM, and Oracle are also racing to start providing customer-facing blockchain solutions, often tied to cryptocurrencies, in order to be the first to market with an effective and revolutionary product. Finally, the government, so often the handbrake of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency adoption, are starting to come around, with the Dutch government being a good example of how this is happening. Just last month, it was reported that Dutch Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Policy had created a unit tasked with researching the further development of blockchain across tech. So, what does this mean for blockchain and Bitcoin and the idea that it can go to zero? A lot of this hinges on the belief that cryptocurrency and blockchain can be separated. There is a big push for blockchain adoption, as described above, but the same cannot be said for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency adoption. However, the argument is that the two are definitely linked. I mean, guys, if you understand the technology at all, the cryptocurrencies that are offered by, these blockchains, the cryptocurrencies are actually used as part of the blockchain. So, separating one from the other seems like it's going to be impossible to do. The outside of the blockchain and cryptocurrency space are arguing that the two facets cannot be separated, and thus, if there is an adoption in blockchain, there must be a correlation of benefit to the cryptocurrency space. With so many faculties as large and dominant as global banks, major corporations, and even governments entering the blockchain space, it would seem hard to see them going on without the cryptocurrency aspect of it. CEO of Lightning Labs, the developer of blockchain scaling Lightning Protocol, Elizabeth Stark, has spoken out to the challenge the Wall Street and traditional financial sector narrative that puts its faith in blockchain, not Bitcoin, in trying to separate the two so distinctly. When we first pitched my company to Lightning Labs, we actually took the word Bitcoin out of our deck and our marketing material because it was so much about blockchain. Now, I feel like we've entered into a Bitcoin not blockchain world where people understand the value of cryptocurrency tech and what these can bring. You also have a proof of work in Bitcoin. You have the public-private cryptography. There are other things that make Bitcoin special. Somehow, the blockchain part got separated and became a thing. Adaptable cryptocurrency. Even Gun Sirer, an associate professor at Cornell University, shared some light on the robustness of cryptocurrencies with Cointelegraph, just how difficult it is for them to completely disappear. He is quoted as saying, "We have seen that these technologies are quite robust. Chains do not just disappear, they are resilient and stick around. Many of us spent years proselytizing for these technologies in general and Bitcoin in particular. As a result, it had immense goodwill and brand recognition built around it. So there will always be a community around the brand that will ensure that the chain makes progress." Gun Sirer's point about Bitcoin in particular is somewhat tied to blockchain tech and where it stands now. The adoption of Bitcoin and blockchain has almost reached a critical mass where it is difficult for it to suddenly lose total support. Bitcoin's brand has exploded recently, and there is evidence both to back up its popularity and just how important that popularity is to its growth and survival. There is a correlation between Google searches trends for Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin, which shows that the higher interest and popularity of coins is intrinsically tied to its price, and thus, in many respects, its success. This has been noted there before in what's called a Satoshi cycle. However, Gun Sirer does add, they might need to hard fork it to breathe new life into it after a chain death spiral, and it might serve a niche function, its medium of transfer and store of value functionality having been usurped by others. But still, I suspect there will always be a Bitcoin brand and a niche community around it. While its adoption continues to grow and become more entrenched as a technology and a financial system in everyday life, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as well as blockchain become harder and harder to simply move on from. But even more than that, now that is becoming established, it is also showing that it is harder to kill than any, say, a stock or technological fad or countless other comparisons which can die. Many will compare Bitcoin to a company or stock which can go to zero as a reason not to invest in it. However, Bitcoin is decentralized and autonomous. There is no one-man group or board of directors that can run it into the ground, which, a lot of people, guys, do not understand. Bitcoin does not have a company behind it. Bitcoin does not have a board of advisors behind it. Bitcoin does not have, a group of people trying to keep it afloat behind it. Bitcoin is just Bitcoin. It's run by miners who keep the network stable. And once that stops happening, guys, once people give up on mining Bitcoin and just stop doing it, that's when Bitcoin will fail. Until then, guys, Bitcoin's just going to keep right on chugging. There's nothing to stop it. There is no, backroom board to say, okay, that's enough. That's just not how it happens, guys. But Bitcoin is also adept at evolving and adapting. Again, based on intrinsic values. It is governed by a majority vote, and as things change and challenge it, the community chooses the path that is best for its survival. There are many battles and civil wars along the way, but ultimately the advancement of Bitcoin are for its survival. Finally, even the biggest detractors of Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space are finding it hard to fault the potential of blockchain tech. Some like to and try differentiate between cryptocurrency from blockchain, but they are mistaken in that sense. Jihan Xu, co-founder of Kinetic Capital, a firm working towards spreading the adoption of blockchain tech, is also under the opinion that this new system is something that is fixing the problems of the past. Xu told Cointelegraph, Bitcoin will never go to zero because it is a hedge against falling currencies, inefficient economies, and increasingly systemic inequality. Bitcoin represents the currency of a better future for society, and people will always invest in their future. Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and all these interlinked parts are slowly spreading through society into all different ecosystems. And as they entrench themselves, their very makeup means it is hard for them to be eliminated. Regulators have tried and also come to the realization that they can't totally oust crypto. So now they're trying to work with them. This has opened the door for the traditional sectors of the globe to enter the market and make cryptocurrencies more part of the everyday. This system of decentralized, adaptive, autonomous, and democratic money has too many vested parties and too many strong characteristics, making it hard to eliminate total in its current form. So guys, I am under the belief, just as well as the author of this article here, Darren Pollock, that Bitcoin will not go to zero, guys. I honestly believe that we are, too far down the rabbit hole for that to happen. When people claim that there is no intrinsic value to Bitcoin, I like to argue that miners would say the exact opposite. It costs a certain amount of money to mine a single Bitcoin. And that right there, guys, gives you its intrinsic value at the very minimum of how much it costs to mine it. That's just my opinion. I hear a lot of people state that, and I'm a firm believer that that is exactly the case. It costs an amount of electricity. It costs an amount to get a rig. And all of this should at least correlate into the price of Bitcoin. That's just my opinion, guys. I would love to hear what you have to think about it. Drop me a comment down in the comment section. Do you think that Bitcoin and or blockchain is going to die, like so many naysayers believe that it is, guys? Or are you like on the side of the everyday man, where Bitcoin is going to be what drags us out of, financial ruin and sets us onto the proper path? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Next article, THEKEY. We're going to hear what that has to say. Stick around, guys. THEKEY, or TKY, commits $20 million to scientific research fund and the Chinese government lends support. THEKEY, TKY, a decentralized ecosystem of an identity verification or IDV tool atop the Neo blockchain, has launched a self-funded $20 million USD initiative dubbed the THEKEY Scientific Research Fund. After having recently reached an agreement with Information Center of Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security, or the MHRSS, and China's Social Insurance Association, or CSIA, to cooperate on research in the area of social insurance blockchain applications. MHRSS and CSIA, both national ministries and agencies within the People's Republic of China, have each pledged their full support behind the THEKEY as they proceed to deploy the Scientific Research Fund with the relevant academic and commercial institution personnel. We are confident that the fund will facilitate the research and development required to build new tech, business models, and efficiencies in social insurance service to the Chinese, then global masses. Excuse me, guys. During a press conference held at Saturday's fund launch, it was announced that the fund's 2018-2019 projects of the racing plan is seeking expression of interests. The THEKEY revealed that relevant instructions and application forms will be made available to download on their website by the 15th of July. Their social media channels will make it known when these cases can be accessed. The THEKEY has tweeted, "I just published the THEKEY corporates with Chinese government in social insurance blockchain applications and launched medium.com," and they've got a link there for you guys if you want to check it out. Per the fund's dedicated webpage, the THEKEY BDMI International Fund Ltd is the full funder for the entire initial phase, which will last a period of 5 years. The $20 million, therefore, will be distributed accordingly to annual work plan. 4 thematic areas were identified by the THEKEY as being the ideal projects that are seeking to fund and collaborate with. Such use cases were research on security and supervision mechanisms of blockchain technology application and data commercialization and application in Chinese social insurance services, research on operation and maintenance of national medical resource group purchase organizations, or the GPO, development and application of blockchain tech in China's social insurance services, and processing, analysis, and application of healthcare big data. In a Sunday letter authored by Catherine Lee, chairwoman and CEO of the THEKEY, she confirmed that the important news first mentioned in an early July AMA had indeed come to fruition. Also, Lee announced that she had been conducting a 2-hour-long global AMA on Reddit at 8 p.m. GMT, the 4th of July. The corresponding link has been provided below. So you can check all that out here, guys. The crypto market took favorably to news of the THEKEY Scientific Research Fund having been launched. Despite a third-party press release being issued on Friday, the THEKEY's TKY NEP5 token still saw a sizable price jump after Lee's blog post was uploaded by the Beijing headquarters crypto startup on Sunday, rising by roughly 20% since they tweeted about the news on its uploading. So guys, I have been a fan of the THEKEY ever since it has, come out. I did a little bit of researching on it when I first heard about it, and I'm a big fan of the THEKEY. Oh, gosh, excuse me, guys. I'm a big fan of the Neo blockchain, and everything that it's got going for it. I'm really impressed that the Chinese government, over the course of 5 months, has really done a complete and total 180, guys. I mean, when we first heard about China, they were just the FUD masters. They were banning cryptocurrency left and right. They had no interest in it whatsoever. But, as 2018 has just chugged along, we've seen so many companies just reverse their stance on crypto and blockchain technology. This being, China being like the leader of it. When it just blows my mind, guys, that when countries, companies, businesses, when they see a new technology that's being adopted, and it has the power that blockchain has behind it with its applications and what it means for like the global economy. It is absolutely foolish for other countries not to get on board and really do their research and see what's going on with this tech. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it, guys. Are you guys fans of THEKEY? Furthermore, are you fans to the scientific research fund that THEKEY is launching? I personally find this to be a great mission, what they're planning on doing. If it comes to fruition, that would be awesome. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comment section, guys. Drop me some info down there. Let me know. Are you fans of THEKEY? Are you fans of NEO? Are you fans of blockchain in particular? And what do you think about the $20 million initiative dubbed the Scientific Research Fund? Let me know. We're going to move on to our Bitcoin technical analysis, guys. Stay right there. And here we are, guys, on the Bitcoin versus US dollar 4-hour scale using the Bitfinex exchange information. And guys, I'm going to turn off auto so we can get a bit of a zoom in here and see what's going on a little bit closer. As you can see, we had our big green pump on the 29th of June. So that was what, Thursday or Friday? And we have just been doing some sideways action ever since, a little bit of consolidation. What we can see, guys, is we've got our 100-hour exponential moving average in orange here. That's what this line is. And we can see that Bitcoin is just getting rejected from it every time it tries to push through. What that means, guys, is, well, nothing terrible yet, but we are seeing a little bit of we were seeing a little bit of a push. We had Bitcoin up to $6,400 just about, I don't know, 2 minutes ago. But it looks like we're just making a nice bear flag, or a nice bull flag, not a bear flag. Bear flags aren't nice. Bear flags are horrible. This right here, guys, this is our bull flag that we're looking at. Right there. But, like I said, guys, this, while being a bullish pattern right here, we can see that we are having trouble getting past the 100-hour average. So what we're going to need to see is a lot of upside buying volume to push through and actually turn this bit of resistance into support. You can see from our RSI that we're actually in normal trading area, and if we do happen to push up through here with a bit of volume, we kind of risk getting into an overbought area. And what we do know about being in an overbought area, guys, is that the price will correct. And when it corrects, that means the price will come down. What we can see here, right now, though, guys, is that Bitcoin's strength indicator is on its way up, meaning that we are seeing some upward buy potential. We're going to get rid of that drawing tool. And, we can see from our 50-hour moving average that we are actually increasing in price. You can see that the moving average is moving up. It's starting to flatten out a little bit here, though. Let me grab our drawing indicator, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right here, the yellow line is our 50-hour. And you can see, like, we had a steady rise, but it's starting to flatten out. And we can actually almost see it, like, kind of curve out to move straight like that, guys. As we follow the 100-hour average, I think it's going to probably do something like that as well, until we can get a breakout. either up or down. I want to delete that line, and I want to delete this line as well. Maybe. I guess I'm not deleting anything. Okay, well, that's fine. This is what we're looking at. So yeah, it's just a little bit of sideways action, guys, as we try to find the volume that we can to punch up through this bit of resistance and turn it into support. Now, this is on the 4-hour scale, guys. If we zoom out to our day scale to get a bigger picture of what's going on, I want to remove all of our drawing tools here so we can see what we got going on. I want to zoom in. And you can see, guys, that we're still in that downward channel that we were in a few days ago, or, we haven't really left, but we marked it a few days ago, like so. And we'll put this one down, like, right through here, like that. We actually, if we look at it, we kind of did break out. If I want to change it around a bit, so that's kind of like what we're looking at here, guys. And we broke out a bit, like around like so. That was kind of like the trend that we were in, the channel that we were in. We've broken out of it, and we're just trending along sideways. Like I've told you guys before, that the diagonal trend lines and resistance and whatnot, they are not nearly as important as the horizontal support lines. And as you can see, guys, like we hit our recent low, that was our triple bottom that we had touched from back here in February. We had a little bit of a touch here in April, and then, our recent low in later part of June. Now, this is July. We are currently in July now, guys, and word on the street is that July is supposed to be our bull month. Now, whether or not that happens remains to be seen. From the looks of it, guys, every indication has it that we are not entering in any sort of bull cycle. Our exponential moving averages, our 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages are still unaligned. Our 50 and our 100 are below our 200. The 50 is below the 100 and the 200. We need all of those to change position, or at least we need the 50 to raise above the 200 to actually signal a bull run. Now, will that happen? Not so sure, guys. I'm not so sure. Since we are on our, day scale, we can just go ahead and draw these out, and we are still in a downward channel, like so. This is what we're looking at, guys. Just like that. And this is what we're seeing. So what does this say? At least for the day scale, guys, we have a bit of work to do. We would have to push up through the 50-day, turning that from resistance into support. Once that happens, we would have to push through the 100-day average, turning that resistance into support. And once that happens, we would have to push through the 200-day, turning that line of resistance into support. And once all that happens, guys, then we would see our moving averages settle into the proper bullish trend, meaning that our yellow line here would move above our blue line and stay that way for the remainder of, hopefully, the year. That's what we would like to see. Now, whether or not that honestly happens, who knows? I've stated this before, and I will continue to state it. Bitcoin is a manipulated asset, guys, meaning that there are a few people who can determine the price of Bitcoin just by buying or selling on exchanges. Now, what they have in mind for Bitcoin, who knows? Who knows? But just technically speaking, guys, this is what we would have to see. We would have to see the volume just come on strong with a high buying volume. And once we see that, then we would see the price increase. That is just technical analysis 101. But guys, that's going to do it for the video today. If you're still with me after all this time, hit that subscribe button. If you learned anything new today, guys, hit that like button and share it with a friend. Your friends want to know about Bitcoin? Send them this way. I would love to be the guy to introduce them. But, guys, as always, I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.